I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
As a result of the kind of constitution that we have, it was wrong, just out of pure logic, for black people to be discriminated against solely on the basis of color. The 1964 and 65 Civil Rights Act was clearly something that needed to be done in order to hold up the whole notion of justice in our country.
My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Again, to paraphrase Dr. King, I may not get there with you, but someday we shall enter the promised land where men and women will not be judged by their sexual desires, but by the content of their character.
Many failed to notice Mr. Kramer's substitution of the word sexual behavior for skin color as he misquoted the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. Thus began the 1993 March on Washington for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender equal rights.
The 1993 March on Washington for lesbian, gay, and bisexual equal rights and liberation comes 30 years after the 63 march that Dr. King immortalized with his I Have a Dream speech. And for us, this is a continuation of that civil rights struggle.
Now homosexuals are using not only the language, but they are beginning to insist that the statutes, the laws, all of the advantages gained by civil rights leaders such as Martin Luther King be now applied to homosexuals.
We are an emerging, sort of the emerging latest great civil rights movement of the 90s.
Gay rights now! Washington! Gay rights now!
Currently, there is a movement in this country that threatens to undermine and belittle the entire civil rights effort of the 1960s.
Homosexuals have equal rights under the First Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and the state constitution of every state in which they reside. But the issue here today is special rights. It's special category of protection. They want to be elevated from a behavior-based lifestyle to a true minority status that would give them special rights.
Once we get our rights, we want to have fun.
It's an effort by homosexuals and lesbians to promote their lifestyle. They don't want equal treatment. They want to be able to push their ideas, to get the acceptance of their lifestyle, and then to get special benefits as a result of it.
This Civil Rights Act amendment would completely neutralize the Civil Rights Act of 1964. What it will do is that it will say that anyone with any type of sexual preference, which would include everyone, would be protected under this law. So therefore, there would be no protection for minorities specifically.
Our community is at the verge of the bursting point. People are dying and they are prepared to do anything. Very many people have nothing to lose. And if the government does not respond in a positive way, I predict that you're going to see massive disruption in this society.
According to the U.S. Supreme Court, any person seeking protected minority class status must satisfy 3 elements: immutable characteristics like race and gender, financial discrimination, and political weakness. The group must be clearly identified by unchangeable physical characteristics such as skin color or gender that defines them as an insular and discrete group.
As a white male, I have no rights whatsoever other than what is shared with everybody else. We have granted certain rights to take care of past discrimination, invidious discrimination based on such things as race or on gender. But it seems to me that, again, these are benign characteristics having nothing to do with behavior.
Minorities have come in and said, we resent the homosexual community comparing the skin color to that kind of lifestyle. The skin color is not something we could control, but homosexuality is a preference. It is something that can be dealt with, can be controlled.
Homosexuality is a lifestyle, and the Hispanic community is an ethnic group. The Hispanic community does not want to be compared with homosexuals.
Government has no business putting its stamp of approval on a behavior-based group, let alone elevated to full minority status.
The high-handed attempt on the part of gay and lesbian movements to hijack the 1964 Civil Rights Act in order to try to give national credence to their moral lifestyle is an offense to Black America.
There are few people willing to stand up and rebut this whole notion that there is any kind of comparison to the sexuality of homosexuals and the skin tone of black people. It is a horrendous lie. Black people are not born choosing to be black. But homosexuals, on the other hand, despite what all of them seem to want to indicate to us, choose their homosexual lifestyles.
The group must have suffered a history of discrimination resulting in the lack of ability to earn an average mean income, obtain an adequate education, or enjoy cultural opportunities. Compare these results of a nationwide survey reported in the Wall Street Journal between homosexuals and African Americans regarding average household incomes, percentage of college graduates, percentage of those holding professional managerial positions, percentage of those who have taken overseas vacations. Have either African Americans or homosexuals ever been denied the right to vote? Ever faced legal segregation? Ever denied access by law to public drinking fountains and restrooms? Ever denied by law access to businesses and restaurants?
Their high income, their education, their current status in society compared to the mean or the median income in minority families today. I mean, it's just, there's no comparison. So for them to want protection under this law and to try to further beat down the minorities and further lessen their chances of equal protection and equal chances at jobs, I just think is ludicrous.
If you look across America, homosexuals are not in conclaves as homeless people under bridges and in food lines waiting for things. These are high-income people who want to push their agenda.
I think that it really flaunts and makes a mockery of other legitimate civil rights that people have worked for years. And to give this kind of recognition is going to undermine all kinds of laws that are already on the books, and it's going to hurt a lot of people that deserve these protections.
The group must demonstrate that they are politically powerless. In the 1992 elections, the homosexual community claimed to have donated $3.4 million to Clinton's campaign and supplied many other campaigns with volunteers and contributions, making them one of the most financially powerful political forces today. Their political power was further evidenced by the appointment of militant lesbian activist Roberta Achtenberg as the nation's top fair housing official.
The homosexual lobbyists, the homosexual groups in this country are well-funded, well-connected to powerful politicians.
Well, we're a powerful voting force now. I think that we have a pretty solid role in the Democratic Party. We have friends in Congress.
We have more support on Congress than non-supporters. There are many people that come out repeatedly in the D.C. city government. All of the city council members have come out repeatedly in favor of gay rights.
Homosexuality is defined as a behavior by the act of sex with members of the same sex. It does not qualify for minority status classification because behavior or conduct is irrelevant.